it's Ali from the Perception Trainers, and today we are going to look at Surya B, or Sun Salutation B. So if you've never done Sun Salutation A before, check out the link in the description to our tutorial on how to do that. If you're ready to move on to Sun Salutation B, this video is for you. So in Sun Salutation B, we actually build upon Sun Salutation A, and we're adding basically the element of Warrior 1. So what we're going to look at in our video today is we're going to look at Warrior 1 on its own. We're going to look at Chaturanga on its own, just because that can be a little bit of a tricky posture, and it's good to really nail that and get that right before you kind of do it often, over and over again. And we're also going to look at all the ways that you can do Sun Salutation B with variation, and then we're going to look at the classic Sun Salutation B just once through. So, to get started, let's start by looking at Warrior 1, and you're probably going to see that my head gets cut off, but don't worry, it's all about the lower body anyways. So to start, come stand at the top of your mat, and then take the foot that's closest to me, and take it a big step back on your mat. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to walk that back foot forward a couple of inches, and walk the front foot back a couple of inches, so it's almost like you're standing on train tracks. Now from here, stand on your tiptoes and pivot your hips to face the front of your mat. Oh yeah, and then put that front heel down and keep the back heel up. So what we're going to do is just a little starter version of Warrior 1, just so that you can get the idea of where your hips are meant to be. So taking both hip bones, point them forward, and then really bend into your lunge, and then again move that front hip bone back, or that front hip bone closest to me forward, and the back hip bone farthest from me back. And then you're going to feel that length in your thigh, which is great. So really press that heel away, press the back heel away, bend into the front leg, reach the arms up, and this is your lunge position, which you can go to if you are new to Warrior 1 and you don't feel quite comfortable in that position. Now let's start and go over Warrior 1. So in Warrior 1, what you're going to do is you're going to keep that train tracked feet alignment. And then you're going to pivot that front foot out, just like we did before, so that it is parallel to the side of your mat. Then from here, you're going to pick up the back heel, and then just move your toes in 30 degrees. So they're just in 30 degrees. So you're not trying to get them parallel with the mat, obviously. They're just in 30 degrees. And then you're going to really press to the outside of that back foot to keep the outside edge of your back foot down. So from here, now you're going to pivot those hips, just like we did before. Pivot the hips to face the front, bringing that hip that's closest to me as far forward as you can, while you continue to keep that contact with the outside edge of the back foot. And then you're going to bend into that front leg. Yeah, one more. Keep going. You need to scoop that front foot forward a little bit more to create space for your posture. So again, really focusing, pressing that outside edge of the back foot in, really engaging the whole leg, turning the hips, and then you're going to bring your arms up. So this is your Warrior 1 position. So it can feel a little awkward at first, but that's okay. You're going to practice, and you're going to get better at it, and you're going to love it. So that is Warrior 1, and that is also a little variation on Warrior 1 that you can do if you don't feel comfortable with Warrior 1 at this point. Second, we're going to look at Chaturanga. So Chaturanga is the staff pose, or it's the plank pose with the elbows bent. So a lot of people find that this pose is challenging, and it can actually cause a lot of wrist pain if you continually do it wrong. Not wrong, but if you continually do it with poor alignment. Because what it can do is it can put a lot of strain on the wrists and on the tendons in the wrists, and can give you like tendonitis. So to do this posture well is important. So to start, I'm going to have you come into just a regular plank pose. So just really find your nice strong plank pose, and then place your knees down so that you're kind of on this angle. And then from here, what I want you to do is really spread your fingers into the mat and press your forefinger and thumb mound of your hand, which is right here, into the mat. So press that into the mat really strong. And then from here, engage your core. So we're not going to have this kind of sway back thing happening. Engage your core, point your tailbone towards your heels, and then hug your elbows into your sides, and then move your breastbone forward. So do all of this before we even lower down. So moving that breastbone forward is really important because you want to create length. Rather than hunching or kind of like dipping, you're just going to move the breastbone forward and then keep the shoulder blades strong onto your back, and then from here just lower down. So this is the position that your body, your upper body, is going to be in when you're in this staff position in Chaturanga. So try one more time with the legs extended. So what you're going to do, again, so just come into your plank pose, really engage that core, point the tailbone towards the heels, roll your shoulders so that they're open, bring your chest bone forward, and then just lower down till you reach this kind of halfway point. So this is your Chaturanga. And then obviously we'll go into upward dog and downward dog. Okay, so now we're going to try a variation on Sun Salutation B with all the modifications you can make. So you can pick and choose which modifications you want to make, or you can go for the full Sun Salutation B, which we'll do in a second. So, to begin, you're going to stand at the top of your mat, and then you're going to bend your knees into chair pose. And then reach your arms up on your inhale. And then on your exhale, folding forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, so just like we were doing in that plank pose, keeping your forefinger and thumb mounds pressing strongly into the mat, you're just going to step back into plank. So if you're new to Chaturanga and not quite at Chaturanga yet, you can either lower your knees at this point, or you can stay in plank and lower all the way down to the floor. Extending the toes, you're going to bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders and really engage your legs so that your knees rise up off the mat. Inhale, lifting the top of the head into a little baby cobra. Exhale, release, tuck the toes, push yourself up to plank and into downward dog. And then you're going to raise your right leg into the sky. Step it forward in between your hands. If you get stuck, that's okay. Say you get stuck here, just grab with your hand, bring that foot forward. And then just wiggle that back foot out a couple of inches, coming into that lunge like we did before, the crescent lunge. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward, taking that back leg back, and then you can either lower down halfway, lower down all the way. Inhale, come back into that cobra. Exhale. Lifting, you can come just onto your knees, and then send that tailbone back into downward dog. Exhale. Inhale, lifting that left heel into the sky. Exhale, step it through, just like we did before. And then move the back leg out a few inches. Come into your crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale, coming down. One more time, lowering all the way to the ground. You can do so with your knees, just like this. Inhale. Exhale. Pushing back into downward dog. Awesome. So from here, you're just going to take a couple of breaths in downward dog, just to kind of find your center. Usually in Ashtanga Yoga, we do 5 breaths in this position. But you can take any amount of breath that you like. You can take 1 to 100 breaths, whatever feels good for you. And then from here, we're just going to look forward, walk the feet to the hands, come up halfway into that Ardha Uttanasana, folding forward all the way down, Uttanasana, bending the knees, straightening the arms out ahead, coming standing. So that is your Sun Salutation B variation selection. You can do any of those in the next sequence that we're going to look at. You can choose to take out the Chaturangas and go all the way down to the mat. You can take out the Warrior Ones, do your lunges, whatever feels good for you. But this right here is the full version of Sun Salutation B, and we're just going to go through it normal and traditional, and then you can make whatever changes you need to for your body today. Okay, so to start, very similar to the last one, you're going to start at the top of your mat. Inhale into your chair pose. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, coming up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Planting the hands. And then from here, if you're going to do the jump back, make sure you're landing your Chaturanga not in plank, okay? So just Inhale, exhale as you jump all the way back into Chaturanga. And then inhale, rolling over the toes into upward dog. Exhale, roll over the toes into downward dog. Good. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, stepping right leg through and in between your hands. And then you're going to pivot the left heel down, just like we did before, so that the toes are at the 30-degree angle. Inhale, come up into your warrior one. Make sure your hips are pointing towards the front of the room. Exhale as you lower all the way down through Chaturanga. Yeah, perfect. Inhale into upward dog. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, stepping it through. And then pivot that back heel into that 30-degree. And then you're going to rise all the way up on your inhale into your warrior one. Exhale, folding forward, all the way down through Chaturanga. One more time. Inhale, into upward dog. Exhale, into downward dog. And then you're going to take your breaths here. Downward dog is an excellent position for rest once you kind of gain some strength in your posture. If ever you want to take a break in child's pose, you could do so like this, right here as well. But we'll just finish one more breath in downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. And then you're going to look forward, bending the knees, jumping the feet between the hands. Perfect. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Bending the knees, coming up into that chair pose once more, and then come to stand. Perfect. So that is your Surya Namaskar B, or Sun Salutation B tutorial. If you have any postures that you want to see me teach you, just leave it in the comments below. I'm happy to take suggestions. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.